Have you ever wondered what makes nuclear power so, well, powerful? And what happens when that power is turned into the most terrifying weapon humanity has ever conceived? Today, we're diving deep into the world of nuclear reactions, from the energy that lights up our cities to the chilling doomsday machine known as the dead hand. Let's start with the basics. Everything around us is made of atoms. At the center of every atom is a nucleus, packed with protons and neutrons. This nucleus is held together by an incredibly strong force, the strongest force in nature. In fact, think of it like a tightly coiled spring, just bursting with energy. Nuclear power is all about releasing that stored energy. There are two main ways to do this: fission and fusion. Nuclear power plants and atomic bombs use fission. This is where we take a large, unstable atom, like uranium-235, and hit it with a tiny particle called a neutron. When the neutron strikes the uranium nucleus, it becomes extremely unstable and splits apart into smaller atoms. This split, or fission, releases a massive amount of energy in the form of heat and radiation. But here's the crucial part: it also releases more neutrons. These new neutrons then fly off and hit other uranium atoms, causing them to split, which releases even more energy and even more neutrons. This creates a self-sustaining chain reaction. In a nuclear power plant, this chain reaction is carefully controlled. We use control rods often made of materials like boron or cadmium, which are excellent at absorbing neutrons. By raising or lowering these rods into the reactor core, operators can speed up or slow down the reaction, like a gas pedal in a brake. The immense heat generated by this controlled fission is used to boil water, creating steam. This steam then turns a turbine, which is connected to a generator, and voila, we have electricity. It's a remarkably efficient way to produce power, with a tiny amount of uranium fuel generating as much energy as millions of tons of coal, and without releasing greenhouse gases. Fusion, on the other hand, is the process that powers our sun and all the stars in the universe. Instead of splitting heavy atoms, fusion combines light atoms, like hydrogen, under immense pressure and temperature. When they fuse together to form a heavier atom, like helium, they release even more energy than fission. Scientists are working hard to replicate this process on Earth in devices called tokamaks. If we can crack it, we'd have a source of virtually limitless, clean energy. The challenge is immense, as we need to create and contain temperatures hotter than the core of the sun. But the potential reward is revolutionary. So, that's the science of nuclear energy, a powerful tool that can provide clean electricity for millions. But this same science, when the chain reaction is left uncontrolled, leads to the most destructive force known to humanity: the atomic bomb. In a bomb, the goal is to create an explosive, runaway chain reaction as quickly as possible. When it detonates, it releases energy so vast that it can vaporize a city in seconds. The flash of light, the crushing shock wave, the intense heat, and the deadly radioactive fallout are what make these weapons so horrifying. The development of these weapons during World War II and the subsequent Cold War cast a long dark shadow over the world. The United States and the Soviet Union built up massive nuclear arsenals, each capable of destroying the other many times over. This led to a tense standoff known as mutually assured destruction, or MAD. The logic was simple, if terrifying. If either side launched a nuclear attack, the other would retaliate with equal force, ensuring the total annihilation of both. No one could win a nuclear war, so no one would dare start one. But this doctrine had a critical vulnerability. What if a decapitation strike, a surprise attack, managed to wipe out the entire political and military leadership of a country before they could order a retaliatory strike? If the chain of command is broken, who gives the order to fire back? The enemy might believe they could launch a first strike and get away with it, dismantling the entire logic of MAD. This is where the story takes a turn into the realm of science fiction, except it's real. To counter this threat, the Soviet Union developed a system so chilling it was nicknamed the Dead Hand. Its official name is Perimeter. It's a fail-deadly automatic nuclear retaliation system. Its purpose is to guarantee that even if the entire Soviet and now Russian leadership is eliminated in a first strike, the country's nuclear arsenal will still launch in response. Here's how it's believed to work. In a time of extreme crisis, the system would be activated by top leadership. It would then go into a monitoring mode, listening for signs of a nuclear detonation on Russian soil. It uses a complex network of seismic, light, and radiation sensors scattered across the country. If these sensors detect a nuclear attack, the system initiates a series of checks. First, it tries to establish communication with the military's general staff. If there's a connection and everything seems normal, the system assumes leaders are still in control and stands down. But what if there's no communication? What if the line is dead? This is where the dead hand truly shows its apocalyptic nature. The system would conclude that the leadership has been wiped out. At this point, it would authorize the launch of Special Command rockets. These aren't missiles carrying warheads to hit enemy targets directly. Instead, they are rockets that fly across Russia, broadcasting launch commands to all the country's nuclear silos, mobile missile launchers, and submarines. Upon receiving this automated command, the entire remaining Russian nuclear arsenal would launch toward its pre-programmed targets, ensuring a devastating second strike. The very existence of perimeter was a closely guarded secret for years. It was only revealed in the 1990s by former Soviet officials after the Cold War ended. The thought of a computer system having the autonomous ability to initiate global thermonuclear war is deeply unsettling. It removes the human element from the final, most critical decision. Proponents argued it was the ultimate deterrent, making a decapitation strike utterly pointless. If you attack, you will be destroyed, no matter what. There is no escape. Critics, however, point to the monumental risks. What about a false alarm? A massive earthquake, a meteor strike, or a technical malfunction could potentially trick the sensors. While the system is said to have safeguards, including requiring a signal from multiple sensor types, the possibility of an accidental apocalypse, however remote, is terrifying. The system is believed to have been upgraded over the years and is likely still operational today. It serves as a stark reminder of the Cold War's legacy and the precarious balance on which our world rests. From the elegant physics of a controlled chain reaction lighting our homes, to the terrifying logic of an automated doomsday machine, the story of nuclear power is one of humanity's greatest paradoxes. It represents both our incredible ingenuity and our capacity for self-destruction. Understanding this power, in all its forms, is more important than ever. Thanks for watching. If you found this journey into the heart of the atom fascinating and a little bit frightening, be sure to hit that like button and subscribe for more deep dives into science and history. See you in the next one.